Ball around the world, ball around the world. Welcome, welcome. You are now tuned in to Ball Around the World, the new branch of EPB podcast where we can just take 15 to 20 minutes and just talk a little shit about the ball and the news in the world that we've seen. If you're listening on IG Live, we appreciate it. If you got a TikTok, go on over to TikTok. Make sure you give us a follow. We're trying to get to 1,000 followers so we can go live on TikTok. We all over the socials. I got my boy Ash with me. You're not going to see him on camera, but he's here playing that HP.
What's going on? What's going on?
Almost done with that Harry Potter. Probably the best video game next to FIFA that has ever come out, ever. Like, if HP can create the, years of reign that FIFA has had, then it might be a wrap for FIFA. I might never play FIFA again because my skills have drastically waned on FIFA because of my love of the Harry Potter. It's fire. Anyway, there's been a lot of footy, a lot of stuff in the headlines. We're not going to get to it all, but I did want to talk about some stuff. We're talking about the last-minute transfers here, and none other more specific than the boy Mason Greenwood, who's made his way to Getafe. I just posted his introduction into Getafe on that they posted on IG. I posted on my stories. First of all, I don't know if you when you looked at that one and you think about it compared to Neymar's introduction in Saudi Arabia or Cristiano.
It was a little light. It was a light.
They brought out the two flame things and they just kind of fizzled, Yeah,
it's like, all right, everybody crowd in.
Yeah. Everybody bring it in. Yeah, everybody come center. Mason Greenwood's here. I want to talk a little shit because, again, props to Mason Greenwood. I've felt for him during this whole thing. It's wild what happened and what he did, but for nobody to take him and all this stuff to come out in Spain, is it wild just from a La Liga and Spanish standpoint that, they're showing this much love to quote unquote a wife beater? Or that's just kind of what it is. It's just life.
I mean, Spain just has different
Spain got different rules. They are set up differently. That is that is just how it goes. Yeah. Out of the last minute transfers that we saw, I'll do three. Ansu Fati to Brighton, Sergio Ramos to Sevilla, and now your boy Mason Greenwood to Getafe. Who do you think is going to have the most impact this year?
Man, I think Mason Greenwood has the
most upside?
I think he's got to be coming out with a vengeance, right? He's got to.
Yeah, he's got to show himself.
He's really got to, this is sort of his trial period for is it worth anyone picking him up?
Is it worth the bad PR?
I mean, I'm not saying that what Luis Suarez did was, the same.
What, biting people?
Biting people, racism, all those things. It's a multitude of stuff, but he's been able to.
He revived his career.
Yeah, because he's just a winner, right? So
yeah,
we've seen it in other sports where people can get away with shit if they're good.
Yeah, if you're good enough, it'll all be swept under the rug, which seems like it might be for him. That's weird. That's funny you bring up Luis Suarez because you're right. I almost forgot. I used to hate Luis Suarez, hate him with a passion. Him biting Chelsea players, him being racist to Patrice Evra, things coming out. Maybe hate's a strong word, but definitely didn't appreciate his game or like him. And then that all kind of changed. He went to Barcelona. I started to actually see the brilliance of his game. I never really saw it at Liverpool, and I didn't watch PSV.
I mean, but your boy John Terry, right? I mean, he's a
John Terry's a brother, wife, a wife stealing, racist. He was racist to Anton, right?
Yeah. His brother, yeah.
That got really swept under the rug. Either John Terry had a really good PR team, or, they just were able to move on, or Chelsea was just winning enough that it did.
He's a winner, right?
He's
just another winner.
That's how it works. Winners get absolved regardless of what they do. to that point, just about winners and winners in the circle, we were talking earlier about Real Madrid, and because of their history of winning, how their players seem to just have more clout than any other players around the world. And I was thinking about it from we took it to the past where it was just kind of like, well, yeah, like we always talk about Claude Makelele, and like he invented the defensive midfield, modern defensive midfield position. But like, is he the best defensive midfielder we've ever seen? Like, but before we get to that, it made me think about Jude Bellingham, who's going off on Madrid, and Madrid is his now, and obviously like young black kid, highly touted, is doing the damn thing in Spain. Like, I have a particular affection for him, but him by comparison to Haaland, and Haaland coming into the Premier League and essentially scoring the same, at least over the first 5 games. Maybe Haaland even scored more goals, because I think he had a hat trick somewhere in the 4th or 5th game against a Burnley or something. But how I just completely, in my head, I was just like, Haaland, Haaland's not a big game player. He's not doing enough. Whereas Jude is, scoring these goals last minute against Getafe, which Real Madrid should not be, taking it down the wire by any shape or fashion with Getafe, even though they're missing a lot of players. But, am I even giving the Madrid players kind of that benefit of, oh, you're playing for Madrid. You're just, when you do things, it's way better than when other people do things. You know what I mean? It's interesting.
Yeah, I think you're, there's a level of expectation, right? Like when Haaland came in, like we've always known he was a goal scorer. We knew, City scored the most number of goals last season or the season prior to Haaland getting there.
Yeah.
So like pretty much like okay, like Haaland's like the missing piece, and I think City they went pretty deep in the Champions League that prior year before getting knocked out by Madrid.
Dog, City did everything. You're right. They just got famously knocked out.
Really, like the additional, of Haaland, it's sort of like, okay, maybe, how much more is he gonna, improve the team? And yeah, he did, but I think they could have. I just don't think he's been as impactful.
Yeah.
Especially some of those bigger games where.
Yeah,
you're not
finals.
Expecting Jude to do all this stuff, and he's delivering, and he's this is his first 5 games, right? So I would say definitely a bigger sort of accomplishment on Jude's standpoint than Haaland's from when Haaland started.
Yeah, yeah, okay. I think that's fair. I think Haaland just had a lot coming out, but to that same point, like Jude is going to a team that's almost fully formed. Again, albeit they've got some injuries. Vinicius hasn't been on the pitch. Their big man, Kareem, left. When I think about Haaland coming to the team, I think Raheem Sterling was probably the only marquee name that really left that team.
Well, yeah.
So it's like Jude's coming to a fully formed Madrid too. But
well,
it is different. It looks like Jude is running.
It's definitely in transition. I don't know about it's fully formed, right?
Yeah.
Like, they've got a really young midfield and a really old midfield.
Yeah.
So they got to somehow figure that out. Their defense.
They don't have to figure that out.
I don't even know who
those old guys have one-year contracts. They don't got to figure that out. Those old guys are literally ushering this new midfield in. This is like their last year.
Yeah, this is their last year.
Yeah.
So that's transition, and then you've also, I don't even know who Madrid's 2 best center backs are. They haven't figured that out either.
Nah, they haven't figured that out.
So there's a lot of question marks, and I don't even know what's up with their. Is it Mendy? What's like their left back?
Ferland Mendy, he's gone. I think he's
Where
gone.
Where did he go? Who's their left back now then?
Their left back is Where's Ferland Mendy? He's playing. And it says he's at Real Madrid, but I could have sworn he was gone. Who is Real Madrid's left back? Here, I'm going to find him out right now.
All I'm saying is when you looked at City, they were missing one piece from the prior year. Like, that's all they needed.
And they weren't really missing that piece. They had Phil Foden to fill in. They had Jack Grealish to fill in. They had people already. And they've always been missing a striker.
Which I wonder, like, if Pep... I think, I'm wondering at what point Pep was like, all right, we need, like, a real number 9. Because that's not like, I mean, in what team has Pep ever? I mean, I guess he's never really had to sign one, but
Hasn't had to. I mean, Sergio Aguero was a true number 9. I don't
but
think
he
Pep
was
really, I don't think Pep fucks with number 9s, to be honest. You know.
Yeah, Sergio Aguero was a little older at that point, right?
Yeah.
So he was sort of not really.
Yeah,
but
you're right.
yeah, I mean, I guess they got this young guy Garcia as a left back.
Yeah, they were playing that Francisco Garcia. He didn't play that well. Ferland Mendy muscle injury, and he's out till mid-September. Okay, so he's still on Madrid.
And they've got this, and they're playing, this new diamond formation, which, they haven't, which they haven't really used before. So
because they typically have a striker,
and they don't have a striker.
Yeah.
So I don't think Real Madrid have it figured out.
Yeah, but you're right. But they're top of the table because
Jude Bellingham.
Because Jude Bellingham's figuring it out for them.
Winning them games.
That's real. That's real. As this phone rings in the background. What's up to my Instagram live people? What's up? If you got TikTok, make sure you follow Eat Pray Ball on TikTok so we can go live for all of these Ball Around the World segments, talking about everything we can around the world. So yeah, I mean, Jude, I agree with you. Jude's had more effect on Madrid in the first 5 games than I think Haaland would. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't falling, victim to the just because you play for Madrid or Barcelona, suddenly you're just a better player than everybody. You know who else did that to me? Sergino Dest. Once he became that right back of Barcelona, I was like, man, the U.S. have one of the best right backs in the world. You know what I mean? But obviously Xavi didn't think so. The other thing, because we got to talk about it at least today. Jadon Sancho, that just happened this weekend. Essentially, Ten Hag was asked in a press conference why Jadon Sancho wasn't playing. Ten Hag decided to, quote unquote, throw Jadon under the bus and say that he hasn't been performing well in training. And then, much to Jadon's chagrin, he hops on his own platform, because we all got platforms out here, and he says, don't listen to everything you read. I performed well in training, and I'm sick of being used as the scapegoat for this team. You think there's truth to what Jadon's saying, or do you think it's I don't think Ten Hag is I've never rated. I still don't rate Ten Hag as a coach. I didn't rate him last year. Obviously, the Ronaldo thing created that bias in my head. But yeah, never really rated him.
I think that clearly there's some, like you said, there's something going on that's not
Sure.
really clear. But what is clear is that you don't really cross Ten Hag that way, and I think Jadon, I mean, he sort of knows this is it, right? How do you recover?
How do you recover? I mean, many have recovered. Shit, even Angel Di Maria recovered from United, but I don't know if Jadon can in his fragile state. But the other side
I'm just saying, I don't think he can recover his playing at Man United. And honestly, Jadon Sancho also was on the 3-month hiatus because of the mental health stuff. So, I'm guessing Man United are probably all right, we're just tired of this dude.
Yeah. And I mean, quite frankly, the way United's playing, because I do think they're one of the biggest underperformers of the Premier League, and we'll get to Chelsea in a bit, but I don't think Jadon Sancho's helping United in any way out of the rut they're in.
Yeah, I don't think anyone in the front three besides Rashford or in space is helping United, but yeah, I mean, I just think Ten Hag has got bigger issues, right? I wouldn't even be, where's Jadon Sancho? Oh, he didn't make the squad. Oh, why not? Oh, he, didn't, tactical reasons. I don't know. I feel like Ten Hag saying that, he's sort of he's using it to change the narrative of oh, we fucking sucked and we got dragged by Arsenal, rather than
right.
right.
We took it down to the wire. I will say the score doesn't necessarily reflect the game. They held on well.
Yeah, sometimes it'd be like that.
This man. Sometimes it takes a while to get thrashed. Who gives a fuck? They got thrashed, yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. But it does seem like, from a Ten Hag perspective, he just seems very excuse-laden. Like, everything is like something, we injured players. VAR. He's a cancer in the locker room. You know what I mean? It's never just like, I got to talk to the players and we're going to get better. It just seems like he just seems to have a lot of excuses. And that's what's kind of tough. Because I don't like that kind of authoritarian dictator kind of vibe if you're not really producing results. And people really thought he was producing results last year, bringing in Martinez and playing Antony and all that shit. But he really wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, Antony really hasn't done a lot. Martial, the whole summer, the whole summer transfer window was pretty, I would say, disappointing, Man U. Really, from the fact that they really didn't sell anyone. Actually, I still don't even know. Is Van de Beek? Did they get rid of that dude?
Dog, I don't know where Van de Beek is. What is the status of Van de Beek?
I'm just saying,
if you're
not playing these players, let him go.
Yeah.
Let him go. It took them forever to let Phil Jones go. Just let him go.
Yeah.
Let Harry Maguire go. It's not working. Let Martial go. Just sell him.
Yeah. Van de Beek is still at United.
He's still at United.
I just saw there's a report he was quote unquote snubbed from the Champions League roster. So I think he's gonna try to go to Galatasaray is what it's saying.
Dude, I think all Europe transfer windows are closed. His only options Saudi Arabia.
If you didn't go now, you got to go to Saudi. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know who
he's on
this.
Yeah.
I don't know who this dude is that they brought in from Turkey. But again, is that a Man United signing? I've never I won't say I'm ignorant, but I don't know who the heck this guy is.
I don't know who he is either. That's not ignorant.
You
see a big club sign somebody, you usually know him, have seen him, watched him. He won a trophy in the Europa League, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, they brought in that Weghorst last year. Who the fuck was that guy? They're bringing in this dude.
That's that guy's name, Højlund, the new striker. He's basically like Weghorst 2.0.
Yeah,
he's shorter, but he's faster. He's more fit and younger.
At least, yeah, he's young. Young guy.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Bring in your Dutch boys,
signing.
but. Yeah.
My thing is just when I look at Man U, I just don't really know how all of these parts come together. I don't know what Bruno Fernandes really has not done much this so far this season.
Yeah.
Garnacho just comes on. He kind of just does his own thing. Rashford does his own thing. It's just not cohesive.
Yeah.
In the final third.
Yeah. Big facts. I don't know what the game plan is outside of trying to stay organized and then capitalize on the counterattack with individual brilliance, but how much individual brilliance?
Bro,
that's PSG couldn't even do that, and they had the best individuals in the world.
I'm just saying that strategy is for who's buddy that got Brentford?
Yeah.
Which team was it where Buddy just got banned for betting? Sports betting.
Luca Ivan Toney, right? That was
yes.
Yeah.
He's at Brentford, right?
He was at Brentford, yeah.
Yeah, they would play counterattacking football.
They play counterattacking football, and they still play that ball. They got Mutombo. I want to call him Mutombo.
But my point is that they're an underdog.
Right. They play that underdog style of play. Man United, you need to be bossing.
Signing Johnny Evans, what? Why?
What's wrong with the legend Johnny Evans, huh?
You know what I'm saying? It's like retirement hour over there. I get it. He was a homegrown player. Maybe it's helping them for numbers
for their English
Champions
numbers.
League, but
yeah,
they literally brought him on towards the end of the game. Again, what kind of strategy is that?
Yeah,
it's comical. I'm sad to say international break.
So would you say United's in a worse state or Chelsea?
I think United.
I 1,000% agree. Because United, again, is supposed to be kind of formed. They're supposed to be competing. I think Chelsea is also supposed to be competing for at least Champions League spots. And I think we will start, but it just looks ugly. But it's a bunch of young boys. So they're
figuring it out still.
Yeah, figuring it all out.
Figuring it out.
Still got a lot of injuries. Yeah.
A lot of their key players. But I think United look worse because based on last year's performance, everyone's like, "Oh, United looks so much better," and then you're watching them now, and you're like, "Wait a minute."
Dog, they look garbage. They looked garbage in the preseason. It just it doesn't look like good ball. At least Chelsea, contrary to last year, like Chelsea was kind of winning certain games, but playing so horribly, I just couldn't feel good about it. Chelsea's actually playing really well. Even Nick Jackson looks good in certain positions, except in front of goal, but it's just not falling. So I don't know what that means. Football's still football. You need to get those points. But, yeah, I agree with you. United just look out of sorts. You know, you think Chelsea's got a bunch of hodgepodge players put together. Like, United's players just don't even seem to fit. Like, you remember when they were trying to get Frankie de Jong, too? And now looking at that midfield, honestly, he'd probably help that midfield out a lot if it was like Casemiro, Bruno.
But their midfield seems hodgepodge. Eriksen, Bruno, Casemiro.
Yeah.
Like, they're all great individual players. They just don't look good together. They have zero team chemistry.
Yeah. Yeah. And Rashford again looks kind of out of sorts, and now I'm starting to go like I can't blame Rashford for like these ebbs and flows of his game. Like he played so well in periods last year after he got healthy. You know, he's playing now, but it just looks weird. It just looks like I guess everything is on his shoulders. Yeah, it's a tough team to watch, but it's kind of funny but they have won some games, so you know we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, how funny. I mean, how did they look when they played Nottingham Forest and they almost lost? Right, like that was pretty wild.
Which is wild, but then fucking Chelsea goes around and then loses to Nottingham Forest, and I'm just like, what is going on? I'm putting all my money on Notts.
Yeah,
between Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa, like, go get a win. Not Aston Villa, probably Brentford. But yeah, I wasn't expecting anything out of Nottingham Forest, and here they are again without Jay Ling's $100,000 a week contract. Super interesting. Also Brighton, and now with Ansu Fati, and United play Brighton next. They play them this Saturday. Like,
that's good.
I think my money's on Brighton. I'm curious if Ansu's gonna play and if he fits in. I really hope he does well in the Premier League. It's tough to think he will if he can't stay healthy in La Liga, but maybe he brings that kind of Spanish magic, that maestro-ness to that squad, because that squad's good. I have no idea where he fits, because I feel like he's a left-sided player. I feel like Mitoma's got that spot kind of sewn up, but.
Yeah, we gotta definitely rooting for Ansu Fati.
Definitely rooting for Ansu Fati.
Not sure how things went the way they did.
Yeah, how do you go from like the next number 10, right? Like, all right, Messi's gone, Ansu is our guy. How do you go from that to just like, nah, we need to loan you out to Brighton, bro? Outside of his injuries,
and that's another thing, right? Like Brighton was like the one that picked him up, like not even a team playing in Champions League, right? Or Europa.
Not a Sevilla or like Brighton. Not a West Ham, right? West Ham's in Europa now.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Ansu does in the Premier League. Definitely interested to see that Barcelona style of play, like how transferable it is.
Yeah. Speaking of Barcelona, probably the best player who's ever played for them, Lionel Messi, now playing in Inter Miami. Got to tell you this story. Just came to L.A., beat the brakes off of L.A. Super happy I didn't go to that game. That was a tough one to witness even from home. He did play well, too, and I think I saw a quote from Giorgio Chiellini saying that Inter Miami team was the best team that he's played in the MLS so far, which is, I mean, that's interesting. After winning a championship with the team last year. But that was the hardest team he played. So obviously Messi, Busquets, Alba, and Tata, the way Tata's got that team set up is looking formidable. They've now won, 11 out of their 10 games that Messi's been on the field, which is crazy. But that's not necessarily the story I want to talk about. I want to talk about my personal experience trying to sell my tickets for this game, because if Messi comes into town and it might be a shit show with traffic or whatnot, I didn't need to watch him. Luckily, I went in 2019 or 2020 to Paris and watched him in the Champions League. He scored 2 goals. It was magical. I love LAFC. I love Bank of California, the BMO Stadium, I should say, but didn't need to watch him. So I decided to sell my tickets. The recommended and average ticket prices were going for like $1,000. So I had it up for the last couple of weeks at $950. And then it was day of, and none of them had sold. So I brought the tickets down to $600. I was selling them in the app that my tickets are on Ticketmaster, but also decided, let me hop over to Stubhub and just see, since I haven't gotten any bites, see if I can get some eyeballs. Literally, within 20 minutes, my tickets sell for $600, which, man, the Messi effect, right? But once my tickets sold, 2 minutes after my tickets sold on Ticketmaster, it's sold on Stubhub. And I am hurriedly going to Stubhub to take down the listing to like complete. But Stubhub's policy is that the second you sell your tickets, you are responsible for delivering those tickets. That is the terms and agreements apparently you click. So if you're selling on multiple sites, just know that you need to keep a close watch over Stubhub, because there's no grace period. There's no, those tickets just sold, so tell the buyer who literally just clicked purchase that actually those tickets aren't available. If they had that policy, there would probably be no problem. The buyer's still looking for tickets the day of the game anyway. They're just going to have to continue looking. But instead, StubHub does this thing where they go, well, we then find replacement tickets at a similar price, which apparently they were able to do. And regardless of whether they find replacement tickets for that person or not, I am still liable to uphold my end of the transaction. So if I was not allowed to supply the tickets, I have to supply the money for the tickets. And so after selling my tickets on on Ticketmaster, because StubHub still had my tickets listed and I couldn't take it down in time, I am in the hole for the exact amount of money that I sold my Ticketmaster tickets for. And I just wanted to highlight it because, shoot, everybody's got a platform. I got my own platform. And I just want to say, fuck StubHub, first of all, first and foremost. But, like, honestly and truly, and I have you here as my brother, you'll keep me honest, like, am I crazy for thinking that that's the dumbest thing, the dumbest policy ever? Or at least could StubHub, go a little bit above and beyond and say, notice, if these tickets are to sell at any point, and again, it's in the fine, the agreement, the terms of agreement, right? It's in the fine print. But hey, make sure you monitor these tickets highly, because the second they sell, you're in the hole for them. I feel like, one, they should do that, and two, there's a reason they don't do that, because, they would lose a lot of money. It would actually have kind of had me go, you know what, I'm not going to sell on StubHub because I don't want to deal with this. By the way, I'm never selling on StubHub again. That was trash. That was the most trash experience I've had. And, when I sold tickets during the World Cup, the same thing happened. So, yeah, bro, I'm just wondering from you straight up, honestly, am I just salty because I didn't do my due diligence, or is that kind of wild and that's kind of scammy on StubHub's part?
Yeah, I think it's kind of bullshit, right, on StubHub's part, because
right. Thank you.
If you because it's no different than if you go onto Amazon, right, and we both click at the same time to buy an item, and they'll just be sorry,
it's out of stock.
It's out of stock. Sorry, can't fulfill the item. Not hey, we're gonna just mail you an item for free, right? It's just sort of oh fuck,
right?
And I feel again, if there's obviously they can make concessions around that, okay, obviously if it's the game starting in 1 hour, if it's within the hour, then they've got to fulfill it, because now there's a risk of that person not going to the game.
Not being able to go to the game, right?
2 minutes after, with 6
hours left, yeah,
plenty of time. It's hey, dude,
hey, sorry, these tickets aren't available.
Yeah, because it's not you had the guy hanging for a while.
I could totally understand if I waited 2 hours, maybe 4 hours,
Yeah,
right?
but it's like, hey man, go back out in the market and go buy those
No,
tickets.
you just
at
got
the
these
same
tickets.
price.
I'm within
So
like
StubHub basically takes the dude's money and then takes your money.
right.
And it's like, all right, StubHub, like now you've just fucked, fucked me.
You fucked me. You fucked both of us. But you're gonna try to adhere to
And
him.
even if the guy who reaches out to you and you're like, hey, sorry man, I can't fulfill it, and he goes back out and tells StubHub, then what? I'm sure StubHub still charges you, right?
Yeah, StubHub charges you regardless. Even if I were, and I tried to communicate directly to this guy because it shows his email. Reached out to him, hey man, like, sorry, I can't fulfill these tickets. They literally just sold just before you clicked. Is there any way you can just ask StubHub for a refund? Even if StubHub were to refund him his money, I still owe StubHub money for breaching the terms of sale. It's just a racket, bro. Anyway, I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I just want the people to know that StubHub is trash for that kind of behavior. You gotta be careful. We already seen the Ticketmaster's got documentaries out on them, and I haven't even seen that one. But apparently they were going a little crazy with Taylor Swift. But luckily, or somehow nobody noticed what the hell StubHub's been up to. And I'm just curious, again, find me on socials. Again, follow me on TikTok. Hit me in the comments of this pod when this posts, and let me know if anybody has any StubHub horror stories, because I can't be the only one. Like the way that went down on Sunday, I can't be the only one. Anyway, got to get out of here, bro. I appreciate it. Another week of Ball Around the World. We got international break coming up, so we'll be talking some international games probably next week. It's pretty much Euro qualifying, pretty much the boring stuff, the Portugal Luxembourgs of it all. But a game to look out for next Tuesday. September 12th, we got Germany versus France, which should be a fun one. So looking forward to that. France play Ireland at the end of this week. Want to see what that team looks like. Anyway, again, make sure to keep it locked. Follow, like, subscribe. We're on YouTube, Instagram, on Instagram Live to my people out there. What's happening? Going to be doing this once a week, Tuesdays, just kind of going over an overview. Lastly, before I get out of here, I have to shout out my boys over at the Footy Travelers. They sent me Colin and Mike, some guys I got to know really well, traveling overseas to the Women's World Cup. Sent me this jersey. It's super, super dope. This is their second drop of their line. Damn near broke my TV just hitting it like that. Dope jersey. I got to get some merch, bro. That's what's next on the list. I'm going to get merch. I'm going to get my reps up like you guys, the Footy Travelers. But love you guys. Appreciate you sending me this. Going to hang one on my wall here somewhere. Maybe over the Chelsea jersey until we start playing better. Otherwise, we will see you next week. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Again, make sure to like, subscribe on YouTube. Follow me on TikTok. We want to go live there. And keep it locked. It's the EPB podcast. Ball Around the World edition. We are out of here.